exciting episode of Castles and Calamities presents the Acronymic Adventures Guild campaign. I am your host, DM Chaos, and we have our lovely group of adventurers here. If this is your first time watching us, welcome. If this is not, welcome back. You can check out our previous campaigns on our Castles and Calamities YouTube page, our previous games on our Castles and Calamities YouTube page, as well as our sister campaign that runs on Tuesdays, same channel, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. You can catch up on their past games as well. That's run by DM Order. This game he goes by Ali. Apparently this is session 54 or something like that. That's what I've been told. So let's get started and see where we are. I think it is. Oh, sorry. Raceland's turn to give a recap.
Okay. So we have a cloak of useful items, and there were many patches on that, and one of the patches was a door. Boudica had a clever idea of using the door around the was it the tiny hut?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she had cast tiny hut where other than myself, everyone else is hiding in the tiny hut. They put that door there and they were going to use it to be able to sneak out and make pot shots at people. However, because we were experimenting with putting swords and stones, we ended up supercharging this door. So when we did that, it ended up becoming a portal, and out came a large number of creatures, including a barbarian woman. They yell at us to get in the ground and threaten us. And pretty much everyone seems to be following that except for Saltek, who tries to talk to him. So they do a warning shot on Saltek, and he's like, I don't care about your warning shot. Let's keep talking. And he does actually convince her, and they end up explaining what's going on, and essentially the door ended up putting us as like a red flag for the interdimensional police, known as Seagal. Or no, they're from Seagal, and they're called Singers. Um, Saltic actually knew about the Singers somehow, and so we end up going with them through the portal, and we're brought to a very modern looking courthouse with some fantasy flair. For instance, the guards are in like heavy plate mail and things like that, but there's electricity. The judge is called the Honorable Judge of Possibilities. We get a lawyer, and her name was Lola. And, you know, once everything was done, we were eventually pardoned. They decided that we were not, in fact, messing with the timeline. And we were allowed to look around and have lunch before we went back. When we did this, we were able to get ourselves each an uncommon attuned magic item. I got the slippers of spider climbing. Saltek got the cloak of protection. Boudica gloves of thievery. Aaron dress with pockets, which is always important to have on your dress. And Allie got the cloak of protection. After that, we got dropped off at a point of our choosing between a couple different locations, and the spot that we decided to go after was a secret library located down south in the islands. When we enter, we run into an undead reading a book. His name was Biblion, and he was the one who runs the secret library. Um, he asked if we had anything to do. I found a conjuration spell book, and then we started kind of looking around the library and stuff like that. And that was around when we finished, I believe.
Awesome. Does anybody have anything they would like to add, subtract, multiply, or divide from that recap?
I'm good.
If not, let's pick back up. I know some of you had a conversation with the other skeleton here. This room's not very big, so the rest of you would have heard that. Would Saltek and Ollie like to give a recap of how that went?
Yeah, he has like this weird ability to like transfer his consciousness into books, and obviously Saltex thought that was super fascinating. So he tries to strike up a conversation with him, and like talk about it. The guy didn't really seem interested in sharing those secrets. And he revealed that he died a long time ago, and he wants to find his ship that was lost in a storm to like I don't know, like unfinished business of the dead type deal. And Saltek tried to ask him more and offer to try and help him in that quest and everything. And the guy got really mad because he really hates heroes and he blames them for all the things that go wrong. He thinks that they cause more problems than they fix, and basically threatened Saltek that if he asked any more questions, he'd see that as a threat. So then they just kind of, him and Ali just sort of hung out in the library for the rest of the time.
Awesome. Also, I do not recommend eating pork rinds when they've gone stale.
That sounds gross.
They just taste, they get a weird texture to them.
They are gross.
Pork rinds?
When they go stale. I love pork
Yeah.
rinds, but
As I say, pork rinds are delicious.
Mhm.
I know like half of you don't eat them, but
they're a great low-calorie snack.
they're also high in protein. All right. So, what are we working on? Let's go back around. Ali, you were looking for stuff about stuff from the mirror, right?
Yes, Ollie was trying to research stuff about the mirror, like how, or specifically the evils that were released from it, and then anything about like lost technology, which he was able to get for like technology of the Furbolgs before the Fey realm, because he was inspired by that with like Sigil.
Right.
So that's what he's focusing
Roll,
on.
roll a D. Is it 10? Is that how many things you released? 10 from the mirror? Roll a D10.
Yeah, it was 10. So let's see. Roll 1d10. 9.
Nice.
Where's my list? I'm going to say you find one book on one of them. Yeah, I just don't know which one. Let me find my list. Hang on. All right. I'm going in the order that I told Saltek about them. Did I only tell you about 9, Saltek?
I thought you told me about all 10.
I think we have it somewhere.
Oh, there you go. There
The
wasn't
mirror
a space.
baddies.
There
There.
wasn't a space between one of them, and they looked like they all just blended together. I'm looking through the list. I'm like, that's only 9, but I see where I'm looking at.
Yep.
All right. You know what? Roll D100.
D100.
If you get higher than a 65, I will let you pick which one you want to learn about.
77.
Which one would you like to know more about?
Oof. Gwendolyn.
Pick the one you can literally ask people about.
Well, you haven't been disclosing Gwendolyn's information.
I didn't say I knew, but my mom does.
All right. So, some of this may be new, even for Celtec, because I just gave you the Cliff Notes version, Celtec.
Right.
Gwendolyn was a former king of the elves. This would have been in like this first era. At the end of the first era. Yeah. He, however, betrayed the elven people by secretly making a deal with the Underdark elves. And that was how he ended up becoming king. He had them assassinate the previous king, which was his father. And then he took over as king. In exchange, he's the one who gave them the spell that they used to blot out and darken the sun so that the Underdark creatures could come to the surface. Which was the war that ended the first era and started the second era. He was known as the Dark Sun King because of that. He particularly hated humans, but it was a human champion that eventually tricked him into looking in the mirror and used it to capture him and lock him away. He was also an extremely powerful mage, and Ollie, from what you know about the mirror, you think he was somehow trying to mess with the magic of the mirror from the inside, and that was how he corrupted the queen to let you out, or to convince her to let them all out.
Got it. Ollie will take very detailed notes and feel a little bit of sadness for the queen, seeing that she was corrupted. But still, yeah, he'd be very enthralled by the book and read it all, front to cover, or front to back.
Awesome. Boudica, what were you looking for?
Honestly, I'll
I think
just
you were
look
looking at
around.
how to be sneaky, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You find a book on how to, I think we talked about this, on how to better steal things.
Yeah.
And roll a wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Wasn't hers like a self-help / thievery book?
Yeah.
Doing great.
All right. You have previously your kleptomania stuck to pens and buttons.
Mm-hmm.
It has now expanded after reading this
Oh no.
to people's favorite trinkets.
Oh no.
So like if you know somebody like if you're talking to somebody you see on their desk that they have a little carving of their or a carving of their kid, you feel a compulsion to take that.
Okay. So basically, I'm a knick-knack thief.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
But only if it's important to them.
Okay.
Oh, that's so savage. You don't just take paper clips, you take like
Right.
I feel like
their
that makes it worse. Yeah.
favorite
The sentimental
photograph
value.
of their like mother and their mother's
Right.
dead or something. You're like,
Like you would take the pocket watch. You wouldn't take a gold pocket watch, but if it was an old rusty beat up pocket watch that their grandfather gave them, now you want to steal it.
damn. Are you
This
still a
is
cleric? Right? Have you been
Yeah.
disgraced by your god yet?
yeah.
Your god thinks this whole thing is hilarious, by the way.
Oh, 100%. Oh my
Awesome.
god. This is great.
Raisin, what were you? You were
Well, I
looking for
had
that
two
book.
things that I was looking for. Yeah, one of them was the rest of the series of the Scabrous Syllabus of Tammuz,
Right, and
i.e.,
they had the first part
they
of the
had the
alphabet.
first part of the alphabet. And he would also, if there were any manuals that kind of helped illuminate mage hand ledgerman techniques, he would be interested in that. But if there isn't, he would just try to memorize or write down. We're allowed to copy stuff, right?
You're allowed to copy stuff, you just can't take the books with you.
How fast can Glove copy things?
I think it was as quick as he could speed read, so it was really fast. It was like a page a minute,
Yeah.
or no, like a few hundred, like 100 pages a minute or something.
Reason would track you down and see if you would be willing to let Glove like transcribe it for me.
He would definitely do that, and he also wants to help you find the Scabrous of Tammuz because he also
Wants to read it.
he has one of the volumes himself.
Oh, really? Which one do you have?
The one on like necromancy and blood magic.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so that
cool.
one he has the full one. The one
Yeah, I
you
remember
have
that. Yeah,
is
I have the
because it's
conjuration.
conjuration is in 3 pieces.
Yeah, I own the middle one. This is the first third.
Yep. This is 1 of 3. You have 2 of 3, and 3 of 3 you have not found yet.
Cool. So, but yes, I would also be looking for a manual to like help me breach like any epiphanies with Mage Hand Ledgerman if they have anything like that.
The only thing you find on Mage Hand is a basic instruction booklet for called Magic
One
101,
that
and
I've read
it's
like thousands of times in
right.
my
It's
Okay.
just an older version, but it's the same material. It's just
Okay.
written in older, ye old language.
Then I would stick to reading the book over Saltek's shoulder while Glove manically speed writes my book out.
All right. Saltek, what are you particularly looking for?
Aside from more of the work from Tammuz, he was like an ancient priest or something, I think it said in my book.
Yeah.
More of his works, but also just any sort of broad, like ancient, forgotten, or forbidden types of magic that have just been sort of lost to stuff that you wouldn't find in a normal library.
Okay. Um, it, it one interesting thing you found is most of the books in here are sea related, and they're not necessarily magic books. They're more like archive. This is more like an archive. It's a library, technically, yes, but it's more of an archive.
Hmm.
This has like sea logs of like you find one shelf is literally just logs, trade logs
Yeah.
from, the elven days.
Oh.
You
Do I
do find
find-
reference of some old races that are not around anymore, but
Oh.
nothing in particular. It just mentions them. It'll just say like the Foxkin or something like that just randomly when you're looking through there.
Yeah. Is there anything on that like abyssal whale that attacked the seas a long time ago? I'm sure that's like a small threat compared to what we're dealing with now, but like it had all those refugees coming to Centralia back a while.
You do actually find reference to it, but it was from like 1,000 years ago
Oh,
that the same thing happened.
gotcha.
You find a similar story about the thing, and it seems to have appeared for about 10 years, tormented the seas, and then just one day just disappeared.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So you wonder, roll a intelligence check with advantage. – 18. All right. You start to wonder if either A, it's not the same one,
Hmm.
or B, if it is the same one, if it comes up to feed every 1,000 years or whatever, and then goes back and has a lair somewhere under the water.
Yeah, it just hibernates for a really, really long time.
Right.
Okay. Interesting. Cool stuff.
All right. Gwen, what were you looking for?
Um,
Or were you just looking around randomly?
I was just looking for any sort of uh old myths. Particularly if I don't know if they have anything. If this is more of a log place than a story place, but like particularly if they have anything on swords and stones.
Roll an
But if not,
investigation
then
check.
just any interesting myths or stories she comes across.
Roll 2 investigation checks. One's for swords and stones, one's for something else.
Okay. Investigation. Why am I? Okay, there. I'm not good at that. One. Oop, there it is. And two.
All
Also not very good.
right. You find a book that's called The Sword and the Stone, and you get really excited, and then you realize it's literally the book that Saltek had in his room previously.
Ugh, I already read this one.
um, and then you start wandering around, and you get lost. This library is only one room, and somehow you end up on the backside of one of the shelves.
That sounds about right.
And there's more books back there.
Ooh, I bet these are the lesser read ones.
When you're back there, you realize everything is covered in dust.
These are definitely the lesser read ones.
Make a perception check.
Okay. I'm not any better at that.
Okay. One of the books that you see back here, there's not much light, but you see a book that is bright red cover and looks pristine condition.
Ooh, pretty. Sure. I'll pull that out and look at it.
All right. You take it down, and on the cover of the book, when you look at it, it says the hero's story being written is what the book's called.
Oh, interesting.
So
I
you
have
open
speed.
it.
I mean, first I'm casting speed read, and then yes, I'm opening it.
Okay, you open it up. It is literally a recap of this campaign. When you get to the last page says, and Gwen cast speed read on herself and started reading the book. And she read through the book and got to this point and realized that it is writing as things are happening.
Gwen
That's
does
so cool.
something stupid. Just
You're
like
gonna write in it.
no, I meant she does something stupid, like stands on her head.
Oh, we
Is
should
it-
write in it.
She
Is it
stands
just
on
me?
her head.
It writes to test. It writes to test the theory. If this was happening live, Gwen sets the book down and stands on her head. From upside down, she can see that it is describing her standing on her head while reading this book.
Is it describing what everybody else is currently doing?
No, because the camera is focused on you right now.
Oh. She closes it and then she goes out and she finds someone else. If she, if she doesn't get lost. Let me roll a d4.
You perfect. As you say, you walk back around the corner and you're back in the main room.
She runs into Boudica and she's like, here, read this.
What? Okay. What is this?
Boudica, you open up a book and there's a book that is writing as you're looking at it that says, Gwen shoves a book in your face and says, here, read this. You go, what is this? As you look down on the pages and see your words and actions being written down in front of you as they are happening.
And Gwen is totally like reading over your shoulder.
What the? Where did you find this?
Over there.
This is crazy.
I know. Ollie's
Oh
either
my
gonna love or
God.
hate this.
Brother.
Yes.
Look at this
Read
book.
this.
Huh. That-
Ollie, you read the book and it says, as you look over your sister's shoulder, well, the girls enthusiastically point at the book. You see the words on the page describing you looking over your sister's shoulder, reading this book.
That is very mind-boggling. No, not mind-boggling. We've dealt with enough mind-boggling. This is very interesting and twisted in a sense. I like it.
knows our thoughts.
As you're talking, you see the words appearing on the page.
Ooh.
Every stutter is appearing on the page.
It's like
He's-
mind magic.
Ollie's gonna test it. He's gonna speak in like celestial and see does it translate the vernacular or like the sound, or does it translate the meaning?
It translates and it says whatever you said. It says, Ali will say in celestial blank.
Gotcha.
However,
Oh,
if Boudica or Gwen were to look at it and they didn't read celestial, it will just say the celestial words to them so that they can't read it.
Oh.
so I do know celestial.
Yeah. So
I would assume Gwen does too, right?
Yeah.
okay, let's.
Ooh.
And then he's gonna try like primordial. Does Gwen and Boudica speak primordial?
No.
No.
Okay, so you say something in primordial, and when you look at it, it says, Ali says in primordial, this is another test, or whatever you say. To the two of you, it says, Ali says in primordial, blah, 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 in some characters and glyphs that you don't even recognize as letters.
He's talking shit about us, Bo.
I'm not. But this is fascinating. This is a really, really fun book. I wish we could take one and take this, but I know we can't. Damn.
I don't know. Boudica's pretty good at stealing stuff.
I would not recommend upsetting. They had a very clear big rule here. But
Rules are made to be broken.
no, that's
As
the
you
opposite.
say that,
By the way, just that is just like you see the two of them just laugh because that's just funny.
As you say that, he walks by and goes, "That's not one of my books. Where did you find that one?"
Oh, see, we can take it. In the back room, in the back shelf.
Oh, you were able to access the other room? Interesting. Well, if one of the books in there wanted you to find it, then I guess you are able to take it with you.
She plucks it from Holly's hand, and she's like, "See, you said I could have it."
Then very good. Hey, rules are meant to be followed. If you follow the rules, sometimes things happen in their own way.
Yes.
And if not, then you break them.
This is the main library. However, I know of at least 2 other wings to the library. However, I can't access them. They hold lost books that are lost at sea, and they appear to those that they want to appear to. Most of the books have a mind of their own.
Oh, man, I should have taken a handful of them.
I would just be careful because most of the books in there are in some way or another cursed.
Oh.
Are you cursed, little buddy? She reads the last page to see if it replies. Is it also a sentient book?
It says Gwen questions if the book is cursed or not. She looks at the book yearning for an answer. The book does not answer.
Well,
sounds about right.
I mean, it's good to test if it's like sapient.
Oh, I completely agree. Testing things, researching them, verifying things, that is, I wholeheartedly agree with it.
One thing that's interesting to you is that it appears to be handwritten.
Does the handwriting change depending on who's reading it?
The handwriting changes depending on who's holding it.
Ooh. That's
interesting.
Cool.
However, it is not your handwriting. So, like, if Gwen's holding it, she realizes the writing looks different than when Boudica was holding it. But it's still not Gwen or Boudica's handwriting that's writing.
Oh, interesting.
We all have our own glove.
You get the other 2 boys and let them know.
Sure. Let's look. Look at my book.
What would Saltek and Raceland think when they see this book?
Saltek's very intrigued by it. What an interesting find. Do you mind if I test something with it?
I mean, we've been testing other things. So as long as it doesn't break it, don't break it.
I will do my best. I want
Don't
to.
eat it.
I wouldn't. I would not. I
want to.
I summon a pen and a quill or whatever, and I want to see if something happens if I write in the book. I want to just write something small for now, just in case something happens from it. I'll just say, and then a gold piece appeared in each of our pockets or something.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Roll a
non-cursed gold piece.
Very specific.
Roll a sleight of hand.
Good.
And I let Glove do it. I'm kidding.
You can. I'll give you advantage if you're letting Glove do it.
Oh.
Hey.
Interesting.
And Boudica can give you guidance.
Guidance. Okay, sweet.
Should have had me do it.
Nice.
Oh, 70.
All right, so you write it in there. The Saltek doesn't wear clothes.
No, he doesn't.
So
he just has like his equipment on him.
Right. I would assume that you would have a coin purse, right?
Yeah, if it's like part of his traveler's pack or just on his belt
Right.
or something.
So you probably don't notice it. However, Boudica, you probably know it first because I think you have the highest passive. You or Ali. You feel the extra weight as something in your pocket. You feel something enter your pocket.
What was that?
You stick
And-
your
and
hand in your pocket.
Hmm?
You stick your hand in your pocket.
Yeah.
And what does
Uh,
the book say?
The coins bite her wings.
It says where it wrote, there's a pause, and then it's like it's catching up with what you wrote, and it says, Boudica feels a weight added to her pocket, sticks her hand in, and fishes out a solid gold coin, or a solid piece of gold.
Is it like a chunk of like unrefined golden
Yes, it's more like
ingot?
a nugget, like a yeah.
Okay.
A gold chunk out of her pocket and looks at it in confusion, wondering where it came from.
What did you do, Saltek?
I wrote to have it to have a gold piece appear in your pocket in all of our pockets. Evidently, it didn't interpret that as a coin, rather a nugget of gold.
I mean, you said gold piece. It is a piece of gold.
By technicality, yes. I wonder because I mean, clearly, if this is summoning something from another place rather than manifesting it out of nowhere, we wouldn't want to write for some kind of gift that is too valuable, because otherwise it might be teleported from somewhere otherwise, or from one of us to another person. It wouldn't be of any use. I simply wanted to see what it would do.
I wonder what would happen if you wrote Saltek increase his overall wisdom in the world.
I will write that.
Oh no.
Roll another sleight of hand.
Guidance.
All right, roll your
5.
guidance.
Okay. Could I sneak up around and try to write as well?
Nope.
Okay.
So 6 total. You write it in there, and you see marks come in and cross through it as you're writing it.
Mm,
Oh, interesting. So it
You
has like
must
a
be-
defensive mechanism.
You must be sneaky if you do it.
May I
Yeah.
see your pin for a moment?
Sure.
I put on my I put my hood up, and as I blend in with the books, I move as quietly as I possibly can and attempt to write. Saltek's wisdom is increased. Through an epiphany immediately after writing this.
Okay. Roll sleight of hand. Just straight.
Yeah, dang it.
All right. You write it, and it's there for a second, and then the line crosses through it.
Mm, it's not easy to fool this thing.
Perhaps try one more time.
I want to try something.
Go ahead, Boudica.
I just want to write. It starts to um a handful of flowers fall from the ceiling.
For a second, I thought you were going to say it starts to rain. Like, that is not a nice thing to do in a library, Boudica. But the flowers is a nice.
Okay. Roll. Okay. You write it, and look. Do you look up immediately as soon as you write it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, pelted.
I was gonna say you get a handful of flowers just seem to get chucked into your face.
Like hard? Like,
Yes, like
is
somebody
she okay?
threw them into your face.
My gosh. The book's getting a little bit mad on us, I think.
Okay, so it works.
Oh, I have a question. What if we
Um,
try to write, it teleports us to the location we need to be at?
I feel like given our luck so far with
Yeah.
this, we're gonna need to like practice. We're gonna practice with small things before we
This
say
is-
it teleports us, or we say that the disturber guy just falls down dead.
Yeah, let's practice. I
Precisely
definitely
why I started with just a gold piece.
think that was a very good test, Saltec. May I try one thing on it?
Just give the book to him.
Wish for a bunch of legendary items.
I'm assuming the harder, the grander the ask, the harder it is to sneak by this. But let's try for something. And Ollie's gonna write very quickly, like, our names become more powerful to face the evils ahead. Trying to initiate a level up.
Do it.
roll sleight of hand.
I'm going to cast as I do that. Let me just make sure I have that spell. Enhance ability.
Okay.
I'll give him guidance.
And on dexterity, so this is with advantage. So let's roll
You should have had me do it. I have plus 14 to sleight of hand.
20
Plus
and
14?
I have plus 14 to sleight of hand.
How is that possible? I don't have plus. I've got plus 8.
21.
14. It's insane.
All right, you write it and look at it, and the ink seems to pulse for a second, and then set in, and then underneath it says, "All of you feel a power growing within you," and you guys can all have a level up. I was going to do it at the end of the session anyway, so
Nice.
And then just write that it happened like 3 more times.
Just do it 3 more. Start spamming it. The DC's gonna go from 20 to 25 to 30.
We just walk out of here like level 10 all of a sudden. Like, what the fuck just happened?
Raceland, I have expertise in sleight of hand, and then I just got the gloves of thievery, which give me plus 5.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was just like, do you have like a plus 8 or something on your dex? What's happening?
My wife in the background's like, "Are you a klepto owl?"
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, she is.
And
yes.
maybe. It started with buttons and pens, and now it's
Knickknacks.
trinkets people
People.
Um,
Wait, you're
things
stealing people?
people like.
Okay, I was gonna say, wait, what?
It's the objects they hold dear.
Does she know you're a
Rayson like
cleric
eyes
too?
you and sort of holds
I'm
his
also a cleric.
scarf and steps back. Don't be taking me fucking scarf. I've got my eye on you. That I do.
She's a klepto owl cleric.
Well, so pit that with my opportunistic thief, and basically it says on a successful dexterity sleight of hand check, you can steal 1 item not being held or worn by the target. If I do it outside of combat, I can steal it immediately and flawlessly on my person,
Oh my
and I can
God.
put something in its place.
I'm gonna have to get Race on like the alert feed so that he can pay attention to that and then steal it back with telekinesis and give it back to the person. This will just be the trope that we do.
This is gonna go so bad. You're like, what'd you take? I didn't take anything.
I saw it.
Okay, I might have taken something. I don't know.
I saw the look in your eye.
She does this, but her deception is like -4, so she
Oh.
can't lie.
It's
As
2
bad as a fire
plus
bulb.
2. It's fine. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Ollie kind of like smiles to himself as he levels up.
Are you trying to write or are you trying to steal something, Boudica?
Oh no, I'm just rolling to roll.
Okay.
She just snatches it from his hands. The book.
Mine.
Ollie's distracted, and then he feels like he's tapping the pen against his face, and all of a sudden he like turns to look at the book, and he goes like this with the pen, and then he looks back and goes to write again, and the pen's just gone. Boudica's like, I didn't steal it, I promise. And she's like holding the pen.
How'd that get there?
Ollie's just gonna have to keep having like he's gonna have to
Oh my
was it
God.
locate object just from now on.
Right. Oh no.
Character flaw. Kleptomania. Gets worse as the game
Right.
progresses. All right, so yes, so you guys have this book. You're playing with this book. You does anybody else want to look for anything else in the library, or what is your guys' next game plan?
I've got what I want.
I mean, you may have forgotten, and the plan may have changed, but originally we stopped the game when someone walked through the door.
Or
Oh
was that the
yeah.
or
Yeah,
was
we
that
do
the
need to fight the Gold Suns.
Wait, I'm a little confused. Was that the I might have
That was at the
misunderstood.
very end of the session. He's like,
Yeah.
as you all look up, someone walked through the door.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
library.
yeah,
Oh, in the
I remember
library.
that.
My
I thought
bad.
that was like
Yeah.
wait,
Oh.
Soltec, were you talking to like the person, like the like Captain Biblion, or were you talking to the skeleton?
I was talking to that skeleton, the one, the
He was
he
talking
never
to
gave us
reading.
his name. Yeah,
Okay.
the rude one.
Gotcha. I might have misunderstood. I thought that was like a skeleton walked in, and that
No.
was what you took. So yeah.
All of this happened before that.
Okay.
Just so timeline wise. But yes, so yes, you do hear somebody walk in as you guys are all looking at this, and you all look up. And where is my folder? Who would like to roll for the group?
I can.
Roll a Indy 100.
D100.
Okay. That was the cutoff. Good for you guys.
Well, look at us.
Roll
Thank you,
D20.
miss.
Me again?
Yeah. This actually makes perfect sense. You guys all look up as a woman walks through the door.
Monica.
Monica.
She stops when she sees you guys and goes, "What the hell are you guys doing here?"
It's a library, so reading?
I could say the same to you that I could.
I thought you were working your way back to the headquarters.
Guys, is she on our
We would have
alive
delayed.
list?
Yeah, she's on the alive list, right?
Yes.
So see, what had happened was, and then she goes in words vomits.
So you guys tried to make it, or working on making it here. You got attacked, and you somehow accidentally opened the interplanar dimension. Got arrested, got unarrested, or got let go on your trial. Hung out with your new magic space friends, and then you had them send you as far away from the base as possible to an island library.
I mean, we thought
Aye,
this
that's
was
what we did.
equally close to where we already were.
Except now we're armed with more useful things.
And you're in the water, so the travel time to get back to land and then walk the rest of the way would be much farther. Anyways,
Well, we found a useful book for all that.
Also, we assumed that there would be boats available.
not on a lost library, but okay. Um,
Isn't there a boat on the coat, the blanket, the robe?
a rowboat.
I didn't say it was a fast boat.
I can make it. Admittedly, we didn't think much further past the last library. It's not every so often you get the chance to explore one.
And we
guess
figured
you're
there'd
right.
be options.
Well, I guess you're in luck.
If not, we'll walk on water and it'll just be like walking on land, but with water.
She's like, "Give me an hour and I will take you back with me.
What are you looking for? We've already looked through a lot of stuff. We might be able to help you find it faster.
I need to go through one of the ledgers. I know where I'm looking." She walks in and like she just like goes, "Sup, Captain," and he's like, "Mornica," and she walks in and grabs a ledger book off the wall, and she's like, "I just need to copy some info out of here."
So there is ways to come and go as you please.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, you guys did say that as long as you had a painting that looks exactly like this door, you could enter or exit through
Oh,
said
you
painting.
did say that. That's
But it has to be on like a moonlit night.
Correct.
So there's a nice moon out there.
Um. So, she gets what she needs. Is there any last exploring things you guys want to do, or are you just waiting for her to finish?
Bless
I
you.
mean, we'll explore while she finishes, but not for anything particular. Just being interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. You guys go ahead and do that, and then um,
Oh, are there any actual spell books here?
no.
Okay.
And you would know most libraries aren't gonna have a spell book.
I mean, I wouldn't think normal libraries would, but I thought maybe a secret library would.
No, they might have like, yeah, even then they wouldn't have like a spell book. Normally they might have like somebody's like entire dissertation on why fireball is the worst spell a wizard could take. Or like the technicalities behind variations of fireball or something like that, but they're not going to have like an actual true like just book of spells.
Okay.
Um, you after the hour, she has her notes written down, and she goes and puts the book back and goes, right. Are you guys coming with me, or what are you doing?
Sure. As good as plan as any.
I'll go with you last, so I will.
Can Ollie do an insight check? Does she seem upset with us or like annoyed?
Well,
Why,
she is annoyed, isn't she? Because we are messing around in the library.
You can roll an insight check with her.
Insight 12.
She seems annoyed, but it doesn't seem to be at you. Boudica, you can tell she's apprehensive of you guys. She's not sure you're real.
Well, that's a kick in the pants.
And you do remember you were told to watch out for imposters of people that may have been dead. And that came from the resistance, so you're wondering if that's just something she also is feeling. Like if she doesn't quite believe that you guys are actually back.
That would Bullock was the one that rolled the insight, so
That's what I said.
yeah, no,
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah. So Boudica, that's what you feel, is that she doesn't necessarily trust you because she doesn't know if you guys are actually back and alive and if you're really who you say you are.
You might be muted, Boudica.
I totally am. That's great. I'll look at her and be like, ask us something only we would know.
She looks you guys up and down and she's like, what was I drinking at girls' night?
Oh, what the hell was she drinking? Hang on. I have it written down, I think. Just let me look through my notes real quick.
I don't know what I was drinking at girls' night.
Well, Quinn never would know.
It was
That's
like a
how
really
it would be.
fancy
If you
bottle.
knew, it would be
No,
uncommon.
that's
hang
it's a
on.
trick question because you always drank so much and were so wasted.
Boudica, roll a history check. You don't have to look it up. Just to,
I was like, I have it in my notes.
I'll give you advantage because it wasn't that long ago for you.
19.
You say the name of a drink, and she just looks at you and kind of goes, "Lucky guess." And then she leans in forward and goes, "But who were we trying to set Gwen up with?"
Wasn't it
Not Ollie,
Ollie?
was it?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Three of us thought so.
Yeah,
Ollie's
I was
the
like, I'm
player,
pretty
so
sure it
it's
was
always
Ollie.
Ollie.
And she's like,
Answer's always Ollie.
she's like, all right. Have they gotten together yet?
No.
Even it's been
They
10 years.
They like bicker a lot.
It's been 10 years. How are they not like a thing yet?
Well,
It's
not
only
like
been
it's
a
been 10
couple
years for
months.
us as a business.
We were drinking chillos. That's what it was. I told you I
Like,
had it
it's
written
10
down.
years. It's only been like, we've been back for like almost one full month.
You do notice that like she is now like in her I'm gonna say like 30s compared to where you guys were at. So she's
Oh, she's
like
finally like where Raceland's interested.
She's a half elf though. So
But
Okay,
they
so
age the
she's
same.
half elf stays the same though.
yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure like
Yeah.
would we notice a difference between 20 and 30 if
You notice it's more in her demeanor.
gotcha.
She's not. I would say the girls would notice it more so. She's not as much like a fun giggle girl as she was. She seems a little more like older.
Mornica was a fun giggle girl.
All of them were.
I thought she was like
Enough
goth girl all
chillos,
the time.
enough chillos, and they all were.
I thought you were like a goth loli kind of.
Except Gwen, who gets really solemn.
I was gonna say Gwen.
Sad drunk.
Gwen got them to be woo girls at the beginning, and then Gwen becomes the emo friend.
The Gwen is a sad drunk.
But yes, that she says that and she goes, "All right, let's get you guys back."
Okay.
And she kind of looks at you, Ollie, and she goes, "Landon's gonna be so surprised."
I can imagine.
I thought the Resistance knew we were coming. You knew we were coming.
Yeah, but you guys aren't supposed to be there for months.
Sweet.
Side note: if we do show up now, there may or may not be mercenaries behind us.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Well, how are they
Which-
gonna get
which-
to us?
Which group is hunting you now?
Which group
Uh,
isn't hunting us?
The fucking sun
Well,
tribe.
no, the owl guys are no longer hunting us,
That is true. The Parliament we were able to assuage, but
and we probably have a few months before we get more Rakshasas. But we haven't run into the Golden Suns, and we were supposed to, and also the pirates. What are the pirates called?
the sea scavengers.
Well, the sea scavengers could be a problem, but the Golden Suns are gone.
What do you mean they're gone?
Wait, what?
And
They
we
weren't-
got word that somebody wiped them out. Like
They-
their bodies were found shredded and torn in a field.
Was it next to
Where?
a door?
No, it was. Well, it was. We thought it was you guys because it was pretty close to where you guys were supposed to be. But
Waffles, did you run off at night?
Waffles looks at you and shakes her head no.
Was there?
She's like,
Oh, go ahead.
she's like there, but at first that's what we thought, and then upon a closer investigation, there was signs of, there was evidence of fiendish activity.
Oh,
I don't. What?
Yeah, some fiend of some sort attacked them and just wiped out the whole group.
Well, sorry for their deaths, but
That's weird.
has the veil between the realms weakened? Like, is this becoming more and more common? Where in the last 10 years, Mornica, there's been more like devils and demons running amok.
Yes and no. It's not that the veil has necessarily weakened, it's that the amount that normally come through, because, you know, a couple still make their way through at some point. But the ones that do work their way through don't have opposition to challenge them.
I see.
And there's also, the holdovers from the previous Demon Wars that are, now that there's less heroes, are becoming bolder.
And I would imagine attacking a group dedicated to serving gods would be a very enticing opportunity for a devil or a demon.
Yes.
Well, may their souls find mercy in the afterlife.
Oh, why do you care about that?
Well, they were serving a god, even though that god is a prick. They thought they were doing good, but they were wrong.
Well, I mean, they don't serve a specific god. They are called upon by any of the minor gods. Like Gwen could technically have called them if she wanted to, but it wasn't just like one group. It was the entire organization.
Oh.
All like 40, 50 of them.
40, 50 adventurers.
They were all wiped out the other day? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
That sounds more like it had nothing to do with us, and they're just trying to get rid of some defenses so that they could start picking off gods after that.
Yeah, that's concerning. Very, very concerning.
Oh, did you
Yes.
ever? Sorry, DM. Did you ever mention how much time has passed since we left Sigil, or like how much time is how long we were at Sigil, how long that was on the real world?
You guys came back at basically the same time you left.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't like another crazy time skip.
No.
Okay.
It's been like a day total.
Never mind then.
Including the time here.
That would have been insane. It's like, oh yeah, now it's 20 years past.
Oh man, my heart couldn't take that.
No, it's been like a day total. Since you guys got taken away.
Well, definitely something we're going to have to research once we're outside. But for now, I guess we just go to the Resistance.
Awesome. I think this is a good time to take a quick break. So let's come back in about 10, 15, somewhere in there.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Welcome back, peoples. So, Mornica has you step through. And you end up in a house in the woods. And she's like, quickly follow me. And she walks you outside. She's like, we have about a 2-hour walk to get there. And you guys start walking. And eventually, you end up somewhere. That looks like this.
Little hobbit hole. I love it.
She's like, welcome to the Resistance.
Cozier than I expected.
Right?
Very much so.
Did you think we were going to have some big epic battle tower or castle?
No,
mean-
I actually thought more along the lines of like less than this. You know, tents and
Picket fences and
mud and yeah.
Caves, things like this.
That's farther down the way. This is the headquarters.
I
Most of the
see.
forces are staying in tents and stuff out in the woods.
okay.
Landon doesn't let the group stay all together, though. He does like to have people separated. He doesn't want to create a super concentration to draw attention. He's a very wise king.
That makes me happy to hear that.
Um, as you say that, you hear a voice, Ali, that you recognize. And they just go, Ali, is that you?
It's
Layla.
your girlfriend.
It's good to see you again.
She doesn't say anything. She just runs up and gives you a hug.
He returns the hug and says, I'm sorry I was gone. Forgive my absence.
Well, you're back now. That's all that matters.
Indeed.
Well, you guys probably want to come in. I'm sure you have many things to talk to King Landon about. Also, you guys are here way earlier than we expected you to be. Monica replies, yeah, they were in the library. She's like, she kind of looks at you, goes, I don't want to know. Well, I do want to know, but you can tell me inside.
Yeah, we can delve. The stories we can tell would be very, very long.
I mean, we only have a couple.
Yeah, because we haven't been here for 10 years. We've been here for 1 month. We have much less stories than them.
Yes, I'm sure the exchange will go. There'll be many stories.
Yeah. Fair. Also, I'm just reading. Gwen's like, he's got a girl in every port.
She's like, why didn't you two hook up? Because he's waiting for her.
Hey, Gwen's got the Stonekin guy waiting for her.
I'm going to switch you maps as soon as I find one that I like.
He is absolutely not going to run up and hug me.
I mean, he wore a stone boot for you.
Not for
Yeah.
me to find us.
No, for you, for like.
Well, to
other
That's what
find
he
mobs.
you.
says.
He's
Also,
worshiping you as something fierce that he
also
was.
it's stupid. Like, why would you wear a boot and not just like a bracelet?
Love makes people act stupid or foolishly, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
So does desperation.
Exactly. The resistance needs us.
I think it's more than desperation. I think it's romance.
The man literally hates me.
He's gonna confess his love to you in the next scene.
Someone's trying to manifest something, aren't they?
That's the whole point of his existence, isn't it?
All right, so come on in. She brings you inside. You guys can all throw yourselves on there somewhere. She yells in a very motherly way. Boy, get down here. You got peoples.
Boy.
The angel said that?
She says that
Is
to a
that-
king? Boy.
Isn't he like an 18-year-old king though?
Yeah, but I mean,
He's-
she's like mom.
20. You see a young man come running down the stairs with a crown on. He
Oh my
stops and
God.
looks at you and goes, Ali, you're back.
That I am.
He runs and stops like a kid and stops and looks at Layla and composes himself and he goes, welcome back, and walks forward and shakes your hand.
Ollie will shake his hand and then pull him in for a hug. I'm sorry I've been absent. But the turn of the tide, I come back.
Good. Also, you made great time getting here.
Yeah, well, portals and magic that we can't necessarily talk about. But how have you been? How's...
Mornica just cuts in. They went to another realm and then somehow ended up in the library. He goes, well, I guess that's a story for later. We've been good. We're as well as good as we can be given the situation. Moms have been training me very much.
Good. Is the... How are things with the resistance? Are they... You said well, but just want to make sure. Is there any like pressing situation that's upon you?
Not at the moment. We're still just trying to locate as many people as we can.
I see.
Ali, you would have catch that he said moms.
Yep. I left him too.
The rest of you catch that as well. I don't know if the rest of you
Yeah, I
remember.
caught it. I don't remember who other mom is though.
You guys see a elf woman carrying a large axe come walking down the stairs.
The hell's that?
Well, it's about damn time you got back.
Yeah, it's yeah. After dealing teleportation, time magic, and portals, delay someone.
Only you could make that sound not like a very vague excuse.
Yes, and I am sorry. for the delay. But at the turn of the tide, as the gods have decreed, 10 years hence we have returned. We're here to help set things right.
Another voice comes down. Good, because they're lying to you. Things are not well.
Is that Kate?
Kate.
Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate, it's good to see you. I see you've taken up the mantle of the librarian slash registrar slash helper slash everything else that Jen seemed to be doing.
Yes, well, with my sister missing, I must do what I can to help out.
Well, it's mine I find of you to do it, that it is.
But yes, the things are not as peaceful as they seem. Our agents have to be careful. Our core, as they like to call it, the round table, have been fine for the most part, but most of our less skilled agents, if they go out, don't report back or end up dead.
Aye, it's a dangerous world out there, it is. Speaking of dangerous worlds, have you heard anything about Jen?
I have not heard anything. I assume at this point she is dead. I have made my peace with that years ago.
I see. It still feels a little bit more fresh to me, I guess. I'm glad to see you're at peace.
I can
And
understand
you're doing
that.
well.
I keep hearing she's not, but we haven't had a clue in years on where to find her.
Where was the last place someone saw her, out of curiosity?
Checking in at that village up north. But that was before everything went down. She was technically missing before the attacks happened.
Do we know why that was?
It's a dangerous land up there.
Indeed, it is.
That's what they keep telling me. I haven't been personally. Well, I suppose as sad as that is, there's other things we must be addressing.
Yes, Landon looks at you. Yes. Well, what is your plan? I assume you have a plan?
Well, originally, he kind of he does a look at the group just to make sure like if they agree with any of things or disagree with any of the things he says. We met up with the resistant agent back in the Badlands. We wanted to come here, assess the situation, discuss how we may help or find out what may be needed as we help set things right. We may traverse elsewhere depending on how things are. I know we're close to, well, the area where the Mara tribe where we're here. May be investigating that as well as Saltek's homeland. But we're here also to help with the resistance against disorder. First, dealing with the evils that he has or are his allies, shoring up our own allies or your own allies, and eventually sealing or defeating disorder and sealing the evils away once more.
So you'll need the mirror.
Yes. He says, I'm assuming that's Brecht that's talking about it. Or is it Kate who asks about the mirror?
No, Landon's saying that.
Oh, Landon, gotcha. Yes. We'll need the mirror. I believe that's the only way to set things right.
Landon looks at you and goes, "This time we'll need to fill it and destroy it."
Yes.
Well, I'll go get you the mirror then. He disappears and comes back with the mirror.
Do you disappear with like a spell, like Dimension Door?
No, he walks away.
Gotcha. Just wanted to make sure if
He
like
walks away.
figure out
He
if he was a
he
spell.
walks up out of your line of sight, and a couple minutes later comes back with the mirror.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, like, try to see if like suddenly we realize he's like a spellcaster.
Make an Arcana check.
Arcana.
Did I ever give you an image of the mirror?
I cannot remember. Let me check my notes.
Oh, let me look at something. Let me see if I put one in here.
But I did roll a dirty 30.
I did. Yeah. You notice you can sense magic coming from him.
Like he's wearing magical items, or that he is attuned
No, like
to
he
the
has
weave.
some type of magic
Okay.
ability.
Well, there's a lot to catch up on. I'm sure we'll be able to discuss. But, and you see he kind of like touches the mirror somewhat reverently, somewhat like with sorrow. We definitely, as he remembers all the troubles that came because of the mirror.
So
But-
this is how it all started.
It all started with this item, this relic. From the evils were sealed away across multiple eras, thanks to the human heroes of history. And now it may be up to us and other heroes to repeat the process once more.
I see.
But that also is dependent on you all. I know you all also have other things you also want to do. I think we need to make sure we're in alignment before we decide to commit to this. Are we in alignment, or is there other places we want to go visit, aid?
Well, I don't believe we're in any shape to be fighting against the creatures that came from the mirror yet. This is going to take time.
This is the mirror, by the way. They do tell you, just side note, that there is a way to shrink the mirror down to a hand mirror size.
That's good. But I do agree with you, Saltek. We are definitely not powerful yet, but I'm assuming as we aid the resistance, we would become more powerful before we start taking pieces off the board permanently.
I am more than happy to aid the resistance where we can. Bring order back to Heptagonia one step at a time. Where we should go next, I'm not sure. I wish to return to Tawasha soon and look into freeing the members of my clan, but I'm again where I'm unsure where to start from there since they've been missing.
Layla suggests you guys could always split up, you know. Most of our group splits off, goes off in pairs or twos or threes to go complete jobs and get
The
stronger.
one time I split from the group, I nearly died. I need
Not the
these people
same.
around.
I don't think that's like the best idea for our group to split up.
Yeah, the last time I did not. I trusted my own intuition, and I released all the evils from the mirror. I definitely feel like I need them to keep me practical.
I don't know. I thought it worked out.
Bodica
And
roll a wisdom
perhaps-
save.
You're the
What?
rock we need.
Oh
to keep us
no!
steady.
Who's got something? Oh shit. Okay. 28.
You have a very strong desire, but you do not act on stealing that mirror from your brother.
Oh
Dude.
no.
Bodica, no.
The DC was 25 because of how important it is to him.
Damn.
Oh no.
There's always
This is
tomorrow.
gonna be bad.
I'm glad to know that you still have ethics, Bodica.
You just so you're kind of like twitch a little bit.
Yeah, little ticks.
You just, Raceland just noticed her just whispering, looking at the mirror, going, shiny, shiny.
Grayson like raises an eyebrow and looks at you. What the
She
fuck are
scoots
you
over the
thinking
edge of
about
the
right now,
couch.
lass?
All right. Layla does say, well, if you're worried about being unprepared, going off in groups or whatever, you can always take other resistance members with you.
Are you DM? Are you suggesting more solo quests?
We can talk about that afterwards, but maybe not solo but if you guys wanted to, if you guys are, I'm saying it is an option if you guys are split on what to do, like you want to go free your people, Raceland wants to go save Jed, they're in the same spot, or we're in the
Okay,
same
yeah.
spot.
I
Like
hear
if
ya.
you two wanted to go there, but say the twins wanted to go check on Halo, then
Okay,
that's
yeah.
possible. You like those two
Raceland,
and
I
Gwen or
think-
whatever could go that way, and you guys could take Jet or Kate with you and go up north. I'm saying those are options are going to be much more available here soon.
Got it.
Not necessarily like split the party, everybody go solo. More of if you guys are at a crossroads right now and want to deviate to go different ways to train and get better, splitting into smaller groups is a definite option. So you don't have to commit to what you want to do right now.
Great. I think we should then. Wait, what time is it, DM? I'm assuming it's nighttime because the moonlight on the painting, or is
Yes.
it okay?
Yes. Why don't you guys get some rest, think about it, and in the morning we can make a game plan.
Wait. Is Roxandra here?
As you say that, you hear a voice. Of course I am. And she comes out. She's like, I had to make you guys special sandwiches now that you're back.
Oh my god.
And she has
Roxandra.
a huge platter of big sandwiches, like some of the best ones you've ever seen from her. And everybody has their own favorite one.
Bodica totally ignores the sandwiches and just gives her a hug.
She's like, I missed you guys too.
We're glad you're alive.
You notice she sets down. She like lets go of the platter of sandwiches, and it just kind of hovers there.
So magic.
Raceland uses minor illusion to create like the most beautiful sandwich he can think of in front of her as like a greeting. And then he comes and nods at her, but doesn't do the touching thing.
Like, no touchy. Stay over
Yeah.
there.
Bubbles and all.
Totally eat a sandwich because they're so good.
Yes, however, your character's perfect sandwich, whatever that would be, is what is on the platter for them. And if you want a second one, there's magically another one on the platter as well.
That's the best platter ever.
Sweet.
Gwen, you do notice from across the room there's somebody who hasn't said anything but is kind of watching you guys from the corner.
Is it Luca?
No. It's Micah.
You can take your
That
boot
guy.
off.
You see him lift his foot and he's got normal boots on.
All right, fine.
All right, fine.
He just kind of says, I'm glad you're back.
So you can take the boot off, right?
I'm just glad you all made it back.
It's good to be back.
Are your feet different sizes now?
He's like, a little bit.
Make it difficult to walk.
Monica kind of chimes in. She goes, I mean, he does still walk with a limp. But now it's on the other foot.
I would say sorry, but it's not my fault. That was totally a choice you made.
It was the right choice. And I would happily make it again if I needed to. Trying to find my old Luca picture because I want to see what he did look like.
Raceland grabs a sandwich, and as he looks at it, he sees that it's a venison sandwich on long fermentation sourdough with chipotle mayo, melted Gouda, with red onions, tomatoes, and pickles. Romaine lettuce is sticking out with balsamic glaze drizzled on top, salt and pepper.
Sounds really good right now, actually.
Say I would actually eat that.
I'm
Better
guessing
than
that's a
Saltix
real
sandwich, I'm
sandwich
sure.
you've made before at
No,
your job.
not with the venison. That's all Raceland. The rest of it,
Yeah, but
Gwen's just got peanut butter and jelly.
probably. Excellent.
a roasted venison would probably be really good.
I
Yeah.
would eat that.
Raceland could like run factories with all the deer he's killed. Sure, he's got a bunch of venison laying around.
So
Maybe
in the
he'll make
future,
us-
you guys are going to you'll play a game that's, in the future past this, and deer are an endangered species, and it's just because Raceland.
because
Raceland's
Raceland
hunting
like
them to
never
extinction.
stopped hunting. Oh, that's funny. I appreciate it.
As you guys are eating sandwiches and settle in, you hear the door open, and Coy walks in, and he goes, "Ah, so the rumors are true. They are back."
are. Good to see you. You haven't accidentally made any other gods, have you?
No, we have not. But I have made a fine warrior here. And he turns, and a young but very well built elf walks in. And he looks at you and goes, Goddess, welcome back. We have
Oh my,
awaited your return for a long time.
you're so tall.
Yes, I grew while you were gone. I'm sorry if that is not against, if that is against your will. I will figure out a way to reduce my height permanently.
Oh, no, don't do that.
A little extreme, isn't this one?
We are definitely not an extremist religion. You can be tall and long like a sword.
I will be your sword forever, miss.
Look at this guy. Look at him. Isn't he cute?
Gwen, you feel something welling inside of you. As he kneels in front of you to say this, you feel the desire to pat him on the head or something.
Oh, she was absolutely going to do that. Yeah.
Okay. When you do, you feel the magic in you or the divine power in you surge and flow into him.
Oh, sorry. Did that hurt?
No, miss. I have received your blessing. Thank you.
Yeah, that was what I meant to do. Yeah.
You see him stand up, and you feel the shimmer around him as you realize you might have accidentally just made him your first paladin.
Aw. And then she like pinches his cheek.
He's like, thank you.
What does it mean to be a minor god's paladin? Do they gain
Both
like
of swords and
abilities
stones.
or?
I wonder.
I mean, we saw what happened when you just shoved some swords and stones. We ended up with a freaking door that got us in trouble with the multi-dimensional
Listen,
police.
we're not going to talk about that.
You don't talk about that.
we don't talk about the door in the woods.
It's a learning process, okay? It's a trial and error sort of thing.
There wasn't supposed to be anybody on the other side.
But seriously though, does something happen to him now that he's a paladin?
It's to do paladin thingies.
A paladin thingy seems like a good thing, I guess. Not sure what that is, but
Gwen, would you want him to be a devotion, or a glory paladin, or yeah, devotion or glory?
I'd have to remember what either of those meant.
Devotion binds a paladin to the loftiest ideals of justice, virtue, and order, sometimes called cavaliers, white knights, or holy warriors. These paladins meet the idea of a knight in shining armor, act with honor. In the pursuit of justice, the greater good, they hold themselves to the highest standards of conduct. For some, for better or worse, and hold the rest of the world to the same standards. Many who swear this oath are devoted to gods of law and good and use their gods' tenets as a measure of their own devotion. They hold angels, the perfect servants of God, as their ideals, incorporate images of angelic wings into their helmets and coat of arms. Glory Paladin is paladins take this oath believe they and their companions are destined to achieve glory through deeds of heroism. They train daily and encourage their companions so that they rely or they are ready when destiny calls upon them.
Hmm.
You can read between the two and tell me which one you want him to be.
Okay. I mean, on the one hand, devotion, but that sounds way too lawful. It sounds like an Ali paladin.
An
Oh,
Ollie
wow.
Paladin, that's kind of a weird burn.
I'm trying. I'm
I need
trying to think.
I need chaotic devotion.
Thanks,
Chaotic
Gwen.
Okay,
devotion.
And then you wonder why. It's like,
I'm gonna pull back a question here, and this is for Ali. Who was like our main devotion paladin in Silver Age?
that would be Hale, the one who's like, oh, I'm smite happy. Or are you talking about the Garexis, the Lionkin monk? Or
Okay.
are you talking about?
So we have those. That's those two, because I'm sure you remember them, Aaron.
Mhm.
Or Glory, you had
Rip.
Rip and the brothers, the push-up brothers,
Yep.
and I know like the head of the Glory was that lady who liked Rip,
Yeah,
but also didn't like Rip half the time.
Yeah. Desmonda always like it's all about glory, power, dynamics, and seeking, fame and fortune.
Well, I guess devotion, but chaotic devotion.
I mean, you could always go Crown too. I don't know. Ollie, you know the paladins back and forth better than I do.
There's Open Sea, which is like very chaotic tenants.
You
And
can
it's
just do
a
oath. Just do Oath
official.
of Ancients. It's a very. It does lend itself to allow for a lot of chaos, and it's about preserving the light of the universe and the ancient ways, which kind of in line with nature and Gwen, as well as the idea of light, like the goodness of light, rather than the lofty ideals.
Oath of the Ancients is the oldest race of elves, and the rituals of the druids, sometimes called the Fey Knights, the Green Knights, the Horn Knights.
It fits
paladins,
Gwen perfectly.
Who swear their own oath, or who swear this oath casts their lot with the side of light in the cosmic struggle against darkness because they love the beauty of and life-giving things of the world, not necessarily because they believe in principles, honor, courage, and justice. They adorn themselves with armor and clothes with images of growing things, antlers, flowers, trees, to reflect their commitment to preserving life and light in the world. Okay.
You didn't even have to do that. You're already a tree.
Told you. You
Yeah.
see, without even mentioning, I'm like, pick this one. I know the paladins in and out.
That's what I said. I was like, I'm reading these and I'm like trying to guess, and I'm like, I should just ask you because you know which one is the right one.
Yep. Ancients is definitely right up Gwen's alley.
All right, so he'll be an Ancients Paladin.
Okay.
So right now he has 3 levels of Fighter and 1 level of Ancients Paladin. Well, I don't think he takes it until 3rd, but he is a Paladin, but he will swear his oath as an Ancient when he gets there.
I just laughed that Gwen was like, ew, honor, justice, so ordery.
It's just they're like too you got to bend the rules. There's got to be more rule bending.
You could have said it that way.
We're not doing it because of glory. We're doing it because trees is much more Gwen.
The light of the universe, the trees for Gwen, the fae, the nature. It's Gwen.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Gwen without the vodka.
You guys see all of this happening, and that's, I feel like, a good capstone for where your night ends. You guys all settle in for the evening. If you guys want to do an ERP, throw it in the chat with anybody. But we'll circle around and figure out when you guys wake up where you want to go. Remember to level yourselves up to 6. And yeah. I think that's a good stopping point for the evening. So why don't we call it there, and everybody have a good night.
Right
Good night.
on.
All right. Good night, everyone.